Water. When you're training, do you ever run out of water?
No.
It's the only thing you can think about.
Yeah.
Is water. We ran out of water, and now we're down to about 350 guys, and they're incredibly surrounding us with hundreds, and we're calling in. The major was calling in airstrikes. He called in napalm, and I'm in my fighting position, and my yards are out in front of me, and I command this much of the perimeter of my company, and I could see it coming. I could see the cylindrical torpedo tube coming. Now, when you're dropping ordnance bombs or tracing in your perimeter, you bring it in. They bring it in this way or this way. Never ever do they come across you and drop their ordnance. But he came across, and that napalm hit in our perimeter, and it hit in my company perimeter. And I remember seeing this massive explosion of orange. And I went down, and it was a deep fighting position. All of a sudden, I couldn't breathe because it sucks all the oxygen out. And I came up, and it was moving because the momentum was moving forward, and it took out about a third of my perimeter. And it stopped NVA from charging. That is true, but it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And the lucky ones died initially. The ones that we tried to save, we had those syringes of morphine, and that didn't even take the edge off. It was terrible. So we were at a very bad point. Morale was horrible. The major thought we were going to be overrun, and that's a whole other story. And then the 4th Battalion inserted right on top of us. Big Mac, Rich McDonald and the 4th Battalion inserted on top of us with 450 fresh troops. Fresh troops, fresh ammo, everything. And the tide of battle swung, and we were able to move forward and be the aggressor again.
I'm curious, you mentioned the napalm attack on your own guys. Can you describe what that does to people?
It doesn't vaporize them. It sets them on fire. And it's a gooey thing.
So you can't get it off, yeah?
No. Well, let me back that up. It's not a gooey thing. It hits as a gooey thing, and then it explodes into this incredible fire, 2,000 degrees, I don't know. But if you're close to it, it's gonna incinerate you. It's gonna char you. But if you're back for it, it's gonna burn you and burn you bad. Our yards it was terrible. It was just terrible. And the burning flesh that's way different from rotting flesh. Burning flesh is almost this kind of like a pork thing. Rotting flesh is just something you'll never forget. So but what it did to the morale and everything, I mean, to the guys, we were just we were devastated and had to pull everybody back together, redistribute the perimeter for the future attacks. Yeah. It was pretty bad. The major who called it in, and this was not his fault by any means. He was very, very upset that it happened. Very upset.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, that's something I don't know how you ever. I don't know how you live with that. Well,
he didn't do it.
Yeah,
the pilot that did it, that's the one. But people process things differently. You know that, and I know that. Was it not Stolen Feller, but Survivors Guild?
Yeah.
You could sit and talk to somebody for hours. It's not your fault. Why me and not him? What? He was right next to him. That bullet could, and you can sit there and talk to him and logically explain everything. It does no good.
Yeah.
And he really took it hard to head, and it wasn't his fault. Yeah. And that was part of the process where I ended up taking over the battalion.
Yeah. Do you know how many guys you guys lost to that specific blue on blue attack?
20.
20. Wow. Yeah, that's brutal. I found myself wondering, this is unrelated to combat, but just being in that environment, the wildlife there, was that ever a threat, or did you guys run into things that were, I mean, did you run into panthers or
One
huge
night,
snakes or anything?
well, only once, we were out, we were moving, and we hadn't had contact, and there was no reason for us to believe there was contact. And we came to this kind of a waterfall. It's probably about 10, 12 feet high, waterfall into a pool. You don't see these very often. So we set up a perimeter, and we all took kind of baths, kind of splashed around in it, while, took turns in it. It was a nice break, and because we'd been out for a couple of weeks, and you didn't shave, and you didn't bathe, you didn't brush your teeth. You just moved forward. And that night, we moved maybe half a click away, maybe even yards away, maybe 100. Anyway, half a click away, we dug in for the night. Well, it was a watering hole for every animal that it was nocturnal. Yeah. And we heard, the yards swore they heard a lion or a tiger. Yeah. And there were tigers up there. Yeah. And then things getting killed and people, so that's the closest that we killed a big steak one time and they ate it. The yards ate it. I went, okay, tastes like chicken.